the stillness of the night, there comes a time to understand, to reach out and touch tomorrow, take the future in our hand. We can see a new horizon built on all that we have done, and our dreams begin another thousand circles around the sun. We go on to the joy and through the tears. We go on to discover new frontiers. Moving on with the current of the years. We go on, moving forward now as one. Moving on with the spirit born to run. With each rising sun to a new day we go on.
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting. We call it ImagineEars.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the ImagineEars Disney podcast. I'm your host, Matt, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friend and co-host, Susie. Happy Monday, Susie.
Happy Monday.
Coming
Look
to you
at
on a
us.
Monday.
I know, changing it up.
Yeah, Susie's going to go watch some baseball tomorrow.
Matt could have come and watched some baseball, but something didn't work out. And that's okay. It is our team playing, though. So go Knowles.
Go Knowles. Maybe this year will be the year. Not likely.
Do you want to know something funny? I've been to a lot of different FSU sporting events over the years. Every football game I've been to, we've won. Every baseball game I've been to, we've lost. Every
Okay.
single one.
Well, maybe this
So
changes. tomorrow.
maybe this, yeah, we'll see. What I need to go to is an FSU softball game because those girls
Softball
are
team's real good.
amazing. The last couple of years and this year,
And the ladies soccer team.
and the ladies soccer team, we've won a lot of women's championships the last couple of years.
Yeah, they put together some good teams, unlike the gentlemen.
Yeah, and the football, or
Basketball.
Oh, and basketball.
Uh,
Whatever. I still have Coach Ham.
March Madness. How about that? We got the Final Four. Not following
Yeah.
that, are you?
No.
I was pulling for
Enough that I know what's going on, but I can't get logged into my ESPN Plus, even though I pay for it.
I was pulling for St. Peter's, but St. Peter's Peacocks.
Yeah, I know. I've been seeing all that, and they go as far as they can, and that's still a pretty darn good
Farther than
Cinderella
anyone,
story.
any 15 seed has made
I
it, so
know.
it's pretty good. So my bracket is still alive technically because I have Villanova
Duke.
winning.
Oh, okay.
I have Villanova winning, but Duke's playing well. UNC is on a hot streak, so it'll be very interesting to see what happens. So fun times. Well, there's our sports side of the podcast for this evening. Really just wanted to mention one thing before we get into our topic of discussion for tonight. We just want to say thank you. Thank you to all of our listeners. We hit a milestone this past weekend. Yes, we did. We hit 200,000 downloads. So thank you.
Wow. That
Yep.
is crazy.
So you guys have decided to listen to us 200,000 times, which is weird to me, but
It's
we'll
really
take
weird to me too.
so thank you.
We're
We
weird.
appreciate so we
Yeah.
celebrate our anniversary on April 15th. So
Yeah.
coming up here pretty soon. But I mean, it has been quite a ride and we ain't going anywhere. So thank you for listening and supporting us these past few years. Looking forward to the future and many, many more episodes content and just interacting and chatting with you guys. So we get just as much out of this, if not more, than interacting with you guys on a weekly basis, whether it's on the actual podcast itself or through communication outside of the live podcast via email or social media. We've had some great conversations, you guys. I had a really great conversation with Dusty, who we're planning a trip for coming up in the fall. Just got to chat with him over the phone for a little bit about Disney and like what he loves about it, and like it's great being able to share the things that we have in common with each other, and it's just been a blast. When we started this thing, we had no idea. Like we were like, oh yeah, this will be fun. But it's kind of turned into a thing. And
It kind of did, yeah. I
it's-
just think back of how cringy it was when we were first starting, and thank goodness we don't have video of any of that because I was living back at my parents' old house and was up in the bonus room and had a makeshift little thing, and we just messed up a lot. And then we'd be like, okay, let's try that again. And now that we go live, you guys just see all of that. It's been
Yeah.
so we've
Yeah,
come a long
those-
way too, just in
those
figuring
first
out
few
how to.
those first few episodes for a little bit, like there was lots of editing, lots of splicing together. But
We
kind
just
of
embrace it now.
going live just kind of forced us into just accepting how everything goes. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it's been so much fun, and looking forward to more episodes in the future. So, well, let's get into tonight's subject, shall we?
Yes, let's.
Yes. So Disney has recently opened up I would say, a very unique experience with Galactic Starcruiser. It's been open for almost a month now, and
First of all, wow.
yeah,
Time flies. I
crazy,
can't believe
crazy.
that.
And honestly, I feel like most of the feedback is pretty positive. Nothing is ever perfect. There's always going to be something that they can change or fix,
Yeah.
like the lightsaber exchange.
Yeah. We gotta do
Uh,
something with that. Have her go behind anyway.
So
And pricing aside, because we know that this is a completely different kind of experience than any other resort. So we also know that it's not
for everyone,
a hotel, and it's not, unfortunately, for everyone, and because that's a high price range. So
not just that, but it's pretty small. It is a
Yeah.
very boutique experience. There's only like 100 rooms, maybe, I think.
so that's max, like, not even, I wouldn't even, because some of the rooms
probably more
are
than
only
that, but
designed
it's-
for like 2 people, right? I don't think they're all the same.
No, they're all pretty much the same
all
except for
before?
some of the suites. Yeah.
Okay.
which
So
are really
still,
just
you're
kind of
looking
two
at
rooms put
like
together. So.
less than 500 people.
Yeah, so it's a very small experience, and I think there is an expansion pad. So if they wanted to make it bigger, they can. I'm sure we will see that down the road. But yeah, I think reviews so far have been pretty positive all around. So that leads us to our question for this week: is if this winds up being a financial success in the long run, I will give it a year or so. Um, I think in the next year, if especially if things stay consistent, we may see talk of this experience going somewhere else with a different theme. Um,
Yeah, and also, I mean, when we get into tonight's topic, but I also think this is just changing the entire industry as a whole.
yeah,
So I think there's a possibility that competitors obviously are looking at this very closely and
right.
seeing what they may be able to do too, and maybe at a better price point. We just don't know.
Yep. And Swansea brings up an interesting point. He says, too immersive for me. If it was Lord of the Rings, I would consider it.
Oh, I would too.
So, and I think so. This is where this really comes into play. Is from everyone that I've known that has gone and done it.
Mhm.
The more you put into it, the better your experience is going to be.
Yeah, you can't be a passive passenger, for lack of a better term, because it's Starcruiser. You have to actively participate.
Right. And so I would label myself like I'm not an introvert, I'm not an extrovert per se. I'm kind of like in the middle. So on a normal experience, like I'm not very I'm not the first one out on the dance floor at the wedding. I am not the first person to volunteer for something publicly. I kind of just like hang back. I'll participate most of the time, but I'm not that outgoing. So, but I understand that I'm going to get a better experience if I fully give into this. So I'm going on Starcruiser. It'll be the beginning of May. Um, I'm going to go out of my comfort zone to hopefully have a better experience. So I'm willing to do that.
Hmm.
But from what I understand, like it is like LARPing,
Yeah.
live action role playing the entire time. So um, if that fits the bill, then great. It's perfect for you. If not, I think you could still enjoy it, but not as much as the people who really give into it.
Yeah.
So,
With that in mind,
with that
though,
in mind, where do they go next? So, we kind of came up with some ideas. I came up with a list of 4. Susie, I think, has 4.
mhm.
What attractions or what characters or theming would we want to see as the next experience in this lineup where you go in and you are going in world into a different place? So, without further ado, Susie, your
Mhm.
first one.
My first one is probably like the most impossible of this list because of legal constraints, but I always put it on a list anyway, especially for Walt Disney World. I guess we could see it more likely at Disneyland, but some kind of like Avengers compound themed option. So we know prior to Civil War, where everyone was kind of living on like Wanda had a room. Remember, Vision comes in a room, Steve stays there, Tony. So you can have so many characters coming in and out. Literally, like they have their own rooms. You can go and explore. There could be all kinds of like sciency things. We already have like the PIM lab food at Disneyland at Avengers
Mm-hmm.
Campus. So something kind of like that, maybe. Doing experiments with like Bruce and Tony. I think that could be really, really fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, and you are correct with the whole licensing thing. But I think they could get around a lot of that and use
Current, yeah, where we're going for the future, yes, since we've gotten away from so many of the original characters, where we're at in like what phase 4 now. But I mean, yeah, it could be something.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could obviously do any of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think you can do Black Panther. I think he's fair game. Let's see.
Cool. It's just like a whole Wakanda then. Just
Yeah.
that's what it is. And
Oh.
then there's like Cherie's
Can
thing.
you imagine like a Wakanda themed hotel? That would be
awesome.
that'd be great.
That would be really cool.
Yeah,
Oh, the food would be delicious. African food is amazing.
it is. I love all of the Russians. Kind of putting this aside, Animal Kingdom Lodge and Panani Village, like all of the food there is great. So,
Delicious.
Jico, Boma, why did I just Sanaa? So, yep. Sign me up for that. Yeah, I think you could do a lot of really cool stuff, especially like tech wise, especially if you kind of honed in on the Wakanda side of things, or Pym's Test Kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. I think you could do a lot of options with the Avengers or Marvel characters in general. So
yeah,
good stuff.
Yeah, with that same thing though with Star Wars, and I think this is where Avengers Campus got it right over Galaxy's Edge, is it's not like pushed into a corner of a certain period in the timeline. So they have all kinds of characters from all different eras just kind of doing their own thing. So that is one thing though about Starcruiser that's kind of like a little bit of a bummer, is it's specifically in the Star Wars timeline at a specific point.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so for my first one, and so my list of 4, like a couple of these are like softballs. Like this could easily be done and be super popular, or at least one of them. Like I think the one that we first discussed when we were talking about this episode, I think is the front runner and the most plausible of all of them.
Oh, 1,000%.
But I was just kind of thinking outside of the box. And technically, we already have this, but it's on a very, very small scale. Both of us, Susie and I, are Carousel of Progress fans. We love the Carousel of Progress, one of Walt's attractions. So imagine a Carousel of Progress hotel where it is themed. Each like hotel wing is themed to one of the scenes in Carousel of Progress. More accurately, maybe even for the future one, maybe switch that one up just a little bit and make it more modern and more up to date.
So add like another time period that's ahead. Yeah.
And like I said, we kind of already have this because we have Pop Century, but it's the idea is there. Execution, especially now that they have completely remodeled the rooms and there is no really decade theming with
zero.
Those.
The inside of each of those buildings is identical. The theming is exterior, essentially.
Yeah. So, I think having the themed wings with the decades and those time periods would be very interesting.
Like actual antiques.
Yes.
Which I love antiques.
My wife suggested a really great idea. Having a revolving restaurant, much like Garden Grill, but 2 parts to it. So you revolve around the room and you go through different time periods visually, but also the menu is a progressive dinner.
Oh my gosh. So it's like appetizers in the Depression to get like a can of beans.
through the decades. How great would that be?
Oh my gosh, I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
I would love that. This is Pop Century on steroids. This is
For sure.
we're living in the darkest timeline that this is not a real thing. I would be obsessed with it.
Yeah, I would much like to see that. But
Like, all the Dapper Day things I have, I could put to like genuine use. Like,
yeah, for sure.
love
Okay.
that. All right.
There's
Next. Yeah.
Next for you.
Okay, hear me out, guys. Hear me out. I don't know why I do know why I put this, and I'll explain it. Growing up, we watched a lot of old Disney movies. And one of these old movies has a place in Magic Kingdom that nobody goes to. But my brother and I were obsessed with it growing up. My parents would just roll their eyes and wait for us, and we'd go and do it. I absolutely love the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse, and seeing all the like things that they made from the boat. It's just so cool. Our favorite part of the movie growing up was when they were just building this treehouse because it's freaking awesome. So can you imagine having like a hotel like that? It's like so there are
Survivor
places.
the hotel.
No, you're not building your own thing. But you know how there's like actual like treehouse camping experiences where
Here's some bamboo. Build your own shelter.
Shut up, Matt. Where they actually build like glamping into. I mean, it would be a fake tree, obviously, but you guys see what I'm saying? Like that would be so cool, and everything looks like the boat, and then there's the little like water thing, and
As
so you have like
as
this little
as long as
treehouse.
in some point in your stay you're invaded by pirates.
Yeah. Oh, 1,000%. And if you pay extra, you can ride the zebra or the ostrich or whatever they do from the. No, but think about it. There's we have the Saratoga Springs like tree houses or those. No. I mean like actual like up in a tree house. There's, that kind of camping, glamping, if you will, experience. I would, and it's Swiss Family Robinson.
That is not where I thought you would have gone, but
I know.
Well done.
But
Well
I think
done.
it'd be so fun. Okay, Kelly's on my side. Thank you.
Yeah, Kelly's on your side, but I think we need to point out an idea by our good friend Spencer.
I know, I was trying not to laugh as I read it while I was talking.
The next experience he has, East High Resort and Spa, basketball court, Lava Springs Spa and Country Club, a Kenny Ortega penthouse for his permanent residence. Cast members only sing. What more can you ask for? Oh, boy.
I'm down.
Oh, hey, and there's Dusty. Dusty's checking in. Cannot wait to go on my trip. Never done the treehouse before, but now I'm considering it.
It's just like a 5-minute little walkthrough. It's cute.
Oh.
I love it. What?
Oh, that treehouse. Sorry, I thought he was talking about Saratoga. So you talked about the Saratoga treehouses, but
yeah,
now I get it. He's talking about the
actual Swiss Family Robinson.
The actual Swiss Family Robinson treehouse, which I did the last time I was in Magic Kingdom, and there was a line.
Yay!
It was that busy in Magic Kingdom. Like it took probably 20 minutes to get through because people were like, you were climbing up the stairs, and
well, there's a lot to look at.
There is. So the water wasn't running though. It was very strange.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the
The wheel wasn't turning, and the end thing where they have was it the laundry and crops where they grow the crops?
Yeah.
Yep, the water features weren't running. But anyway. Okay, so you had Swiss Family Treehouse.
I did.
And you had, what was your first one?
Adventures. These are very different.
Yes. All right. Next up for me.
Oh Lord.
I think this one could be done. I think it could be fun. Tower of Terror. I think it lends itself. It's already a hotel. So
it lends itself.
Experience.
Well, that's what it was supposed to be, right?
Yeah, I mean, right. The idea is still buried in blueprints somewhere in the WDI archives. So it's there. Now they just need to dust those things off and bring it back to life.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, just imagine, you again, the original concept was you were picked up from the airport and you were escorted in a vehicle. And when you arrived, you were at the hotel at that time period. So imagine being pulling up to the Tower of Terror, the Hollywood Tower Hotel, on October, let's just say October 30th, 1938. It's 38, right? I think it's 38. Oh, that's right. You've never ridden it.
Me.
You've never been in the building. Now,
No, but I mean,
I'm
I would
asking
go.
the wrong person.
I would go to the hotel. I'm down for that kind of experience. I don't believe God created us to fall from heights. So no, I'm not riding that ride.
Swansea asks, do we hear people scream every 30 seconds, though? Tough to sleep. I think you could put the hotel away from the main building. But
yeah. I mean, we put a man on the moon. I feel like we could make a hotel soundproof.
So you check in. You check into the hotel on October 30th, and then all of the main event stuff happens on the 31st, just like the ride itself. And then, I mean, so the Star Wars experience, the Starcruiser,
mm-hmm.
You have a lot of character interaction. Just imagine the character interactions you could have with all of the main characters from the ride before they disappear into the fifth dimension. So
that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be real cool. You could have obviously the bellhops and the hotel staff. Just think of the decor and the type of rooms that you could have.
Creepy
Very,
music
very
playing.
time period. The music, the music score for the hotel itself, and dining, the Tip Top Club. I mean, there is something there. Like that idea, I feel like given the right treatment, could have some legs,
Mm-hmm.
like for real. And then it all culminates on that night when the accident took place in the Hollywood Tower.
And then there's screaming. Because
1939. Thank you, Swansea. I love Tower of Terror, and I totally botched that. So
by 1 year, it's okay. I'm not judging you.
I'm judging myself. Okay, Tower of Terror. What do you got next?
Okay, so hear me out. Epcot is not originally really right now or at any point in time has been or will ever be what Walt Disney actually thought it was going to be. A lot of the ideas have like manifested themselves in other places throughout the property. But I would want something in Epcot. I don't, when you're done riding Spaceship Earth and you like build your future life and then you go and you're like, this is your little face on the little people. I would want a hotel that is kind of like you're living that out. What did you say?
A Figment Hotel. Yeah,
no,
I agree.
Shut up. That is not at all what I'm talking about. When you're at the Spaceship Earth and you could get like a little card and like this is your future identifier card, and then when you go to the hotel like to check in, then it's like built your hotel experience around what you are. So if you're interested in like entertainment and you want to have like a future garden, then you're the little person who can go at this like futuristic hotel and like go to the futuristic garden thing. Or if you're into working and there's just all those different options, travel and space and things. And then like your hotel experience, you're kind of like given an assignment, not like to work, but like to experience what that life could be like in the future at the hotel.
Okay.
That's impossible. But I think something, I was just trying to think like Epcot needs something. And then maybe like the, Avenger thing could fit into that. But I mean, there's so many things you can pull from the other parks, especially Hollywood Studios, because there's so many IPs. But like Epcot, it's more of like a lifestyle thing. And so that's what I'm trying to think. Like this hotel would be more of like, this is where you could live and like experience what this future you built for yourself from the attraction could actually look like.
could use your imagination to, or, Dream Finder.
No.
Dream Finder could read you bedtime stories. I don't know.
No.
No.
That's a nightmare. That's a nightmare finder.
Yeah. Okay. I can get behind that. I can get
Something
behind
like
that.
that. And I also just like miss that idea for the convention thing that they were going to build in Epcot, where there is like the garden and like all these other things. So just something that's, I don't know, celebrates more of that spirit of Epcot, where you can participate in those ideas.
So one of the experiences in the Starcruiser, Susie, is you have a artificial intelligence droid in your room. So you turn on your TV, you scan your band or whatever, and then this droid comes up and interacts with you. Could we have the same thing but with Judi Dench?
Listen, you're going to need to get on that pretty soon. I saw her on the Oscars last night, and like, she's old.
Speaking of Oscars, man, what a night. That was
that show slaps. Slapped.
We do not condone violence here on the
ImagineEars
ImagineEars Disney podcast. Violence is not the way. So
no, it's not.
That's all we'll say about that. But
it does make for some really good memes, though.
Yeah. Go Encanto.
Yeah.
Oscar winner.
And go West Side Story.
Yes. Best supporting actress.
I know, it made me cry. And Rita Moreno was there, looking fabulous.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
I agree with Kelly. Susie's idea would totally bring in the Horizons fans. Yes. So you want to hit those old Epcot fans. This is the experience for you. Okay. So my next one is going to be a hotel / experience based off the Society of Explorers and Adventurers. So I think this could make a really, really good experience, especially with character interactions. So just think Barnabas T. Bullion, Henry Mystic. Let's see who else we got in here. Merryweather Pleasure. I forgot the cruise line. The kids place is named after her as well.
Oh.
Yeah, her. Yep.
But another
Albert
thing of
Falls, Dr. Albert.
Yeah.
Falls.
Yes. So this is an idea kind of similar to mine of bringing in like an old school, like hardcore, classical Disney fan, because it's not there anymore. Like that just doesn't really have a presence anywhere in the parks now, besides names, sprinkled throughout.
So if you really get into like the Disney backstory, like they're there, especially with the Jungle Cruise and the Jungle Navigation Company Skipper Limited Canteen. That's all tied together.
Yeah.
Of course, we have Big Thunder Mountain, and then Mystic Manor over in Asia, and I'm trying to think what else. Same thing with Joe Rohde's the Tower of Terror out there.
Oh crap!
It's late, y'all.
That one. It's a Monday. We don't record on Mondays.
Yep. So
whatever.
The Tower of Terror out across the pond.
But this is like a very like Disney purist thing.
Oh yes. So this would not, much like the Star Wars thing, it would not appeal to everyone, but it would appeal to a very small demographic, which is probably not realistic. But man, it would be a whole lot of fun because when you were talking about things you could do as far as missions per se.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Think of the possibilities and where they would. I mean, so for Starcruiser, they send you into Batuu, in Hollywood studios. Imagine being dumped off into Magic Kingdom, where you're going to the Jungle Cruise, you're going to Skipper Canteen, you're going to Big Thunder Mountain, and you are interacting with cast members who are playing an active role in your experience. I think that would be a lot of fun.
That would be so cool. Yeah, that's something that we haven't really talked about too much in these two, but the fact that when you go into the parks, is it a pin that that you wear, that so they know who is coming from Starcruiser, and so cast members play that up, and your experience is, based on that. I see this nose.
Hello, Copper.
So that plays into your whole thing too. So it's not just a hotel, like now you're taking it into the park too. It's just such a holistic view.
For sure. All right, we've come down to our last two. Susie, what is your number one idea? What would you love to see? I think I already may know.
Somebody commented it earlier, and I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to spoil it. Muppets. A Muppet immersive hotel experience. I mean, just think of so we know like how good Disney is when they, obviously all of the cast members, and there is this to an extent at the at Starcruiser, but you know how in like Laugh Floor and Turtle Talk with Crush, like they have actors performing right there interacting with you. Like you can like, I mean, can you imagine like Statler and Waldorf like heckling live during a show, like a dinner show or something, or you're watching like a live performance of The Muppet Show and Fozzie comes out and is like telling jokes, and that would be
I would
fun.
A Swedish Chef restaurant sign me up.
And you go and like you pick out your wardrobe with Miss Piggy or something. I mean, it's so silly, but like the Muppets is a property, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think they have something else coming pretty soon to Disney Plus. Aren't they doing it? They're trying something else too, aren't they? Another new
Fozzie could have a comedy
reboot.
show.
I just feel like it's a brand that they are just not. They just haven't. I don't know. They just haven't gotten it right in a while. But this could be so much fun. And I don't really know, mission wise or like activity wise what you're doing, as much as it would just kind of be like watching the Muppet Show. I don't know.
The Great Muppet Caper.
Gosh, that's a good movie. But yeah, that's mine. I know that's such a silly one, but I tried to think of things that are like super engaging. Yes.
Yeah, Michael, the band. Yes, Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem.
Yes, Electric Mayhem.
They're definitely playing.
Yeah, you go to Bunsen Honeydew's lab, and like Beaker like shoots across the, whatever. Like how cool is that?
They're yeah. I was trying to think of what we could do for Sam.
I feel like Sam just like, I don't, well, no, because you already have hecklers, because he just like rolls his eyes at everybody. I don't know.
Maybe he could have his 3-hour finale with fireworks at the end of the.
Yes. When you leave, it's an actual. You got a minute and a half. But yeah, he could finally, after all these years and Muppet Vision of only getting 90 seconds, he could finally do his whole show. I don't know what it actually would look like, but having the puppeteers and interacting, and like you can have your picture taken like with Kermit and everybody, like that'd be so cool.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. So cool. Well, my number one is the Haunted Mansion. I feel like this is the one that is just begging like both in popularity and concept. Imagine staying 2 nights or whatever inside, quote unquote, the Haunted Mansion. Eating in the dining room and
ghosts dancing around you.
Ghosts dancing around. interacting with Master Gracie or avoiding Constance Hatchaway, trying to not be the 1,000th ghost,
Yeah.
become a permanent member of the mansion. Madame Leota. Like, I mean, there's so many ideas and storylines that I think are already embedded in the ride itself. You
Mm.
could go a whole lot of directions, a whole lot of ways. So
hmm
with Star Cruiser, you kind of have three storylines that you could do. You can be the rebel, you can be the scoundrel, you can be the uh,
First Order.
First Order, and not rebel, resistance. Sorry.
Resistance.
Wrong timeline, wrong set of movies. So, um, but yeah, you could really go down some different storyline paths. I feel like, especially with the characters, and maybe you're tied to one ghost's history, and it does exist. So back in the day, cast members who worked on this ride kind of wrote backstories for these ghosts that you see in the
Mhm.
haunted mansion, and maybe you're assigned to one, and that is kind of your path for.
Or you have to like solve their murder or
Yes,
something.
yeah,
It's like a murder
Clue.
mystery hotel.
Yeah, that would be great. You solve their murder. um yeah, there's so much you could do. And the theming.
I feel like this is almost more realistic than the Carousel of Progress one you mentioned. I really feel like you're right. It has such a huge following. Um and I mean, can you imagine they obviously would do like special stuff around like Halloween, there'd be extra somethings. Maybe they actually would do like a scary like there'd be like one, you know, cruise because that's how these things are, right? There's specific like departure dates. That's actually like genuinely scary, like at
Yeah,
Halloween time. That'd be cool.
yeah, and think of the, especially now with the amount of projection technology, the way it is advanced,
hmm
especially over the past decade, being able to do some really crazy stuff, in environments, in rooms,
hmm
on objects, a dinner show, like doing some really, really interesting things. So, yeah, Haunted Mansion's my number one. Like, I would love to see something like that take place.
Yeah.
You okay over there?
Yeah.
Good, good.
Yeah. So when do we sell these ideas
Uh,
to Disney?
oh, they won't listen to us, but
Wow.
that's okay.
If they had listened to us, we would have had Cuscotopia a few years ago.
Ooh, OK Vision on YouTube says, I think an immersive Encanto one would be cool. Or just
Ooh,
Encanto themed resort.
because
Yes, I think,
Casita, yeah.
yeah, the casita. You would just have the casita, and like all the rooms are
hmm
like, you could do different wings, like, so different like halls or floors, like themed to one of the family members' powers. So you could have like the
Yeah.
jungle one, and uh, sand, flowers.
uh, animals for
Yes, yes,
Antonio.
yep. So yeah, it's a cool idea. Very cool. Yeah. Oh, what will they come up with next? We will see, because
I don't
I
know.
really don't think this is the end.
No, this is the future of this is a whole new vein of entertainment experiences. And let's not kid ourselves. In the next 5 years, there will be a Harry Potter one.
I was going to bring it up. I'm like, I feel like this would really work well with Harry Potter.
hmm
Can you imagine eating in the Great Hall every day?
With all, and they have candles.
Oh,
I don't
oh,
know how they would do it, but yeah,
oh! I'm sure
they're
they figure it out.
It's going to happen. I'm telling you. The great thing about having all these different parks in the same city is that they feed off of each other. And when one does something, the other has to like step up the game, right?
Mhm.
So we had Wizarding World, now we have Galaxy's Edge, now we have Starcruiser. What's Universal going to do besides open another entire park? But based off of that kind of like line of experience, what's the next progression in resort stay?
Yep. Well, I guess time will tell, won't it?
It will.
Because something will happen. Because Star Cruiser, I think, has shown or is in the process of showing that this is feasible. This is cool. We'll see about the price point, but the idea is there and it works.
Yeah.
And if you have a powerful enough property, powerful enough IP, you can make money off this and give your customers a very, very unique experience. So,
Agreed.
well, that I believe is going to do it for our conversation this week. So, thank you guys. Again, thank you for helping us surpass 200,000 downloads for the podcast. It has been a blast. We thank you. And if you have not to the podcast and you are just hearing us or you've stumbled upon the podcast, you can find us on whatever podcast platform you listen on, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify. Just search for the ImagineEars Disney podcast. Leave us a review and let us know what you love about the show. And you can also find us on social media as well. Search for the ImagineEars Disney podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And in those social media channels, we also have a link tree, which will take you to our Discord channel where on Friday nights we watch a movie together at 8 o'clock. And Susie, did you say you were gone this week? Are you gone this week?
Yeah.
Friday?
Mhm.
Okay. So that just means that, oh, wait, I am gone as well.
Where are you going?
I'm here, but I have to work.
Oh.
And then next week, I'm in Fort Lauderdale. So you will be picking the movie for next week.
Okay.
So we don't do the movies every Friday night, but most Friday nights. So last week we watched Turning Red. Had a good time watching that. That was a lot of fun.
I love that movie.
So we'll be back here in a couple of weeks with another movie on Friday night on Discord. So come join our Discord channel and check that out. And then a very special thank you, as always, to our patrons. If you want to support the podcast, you can go to patreon.com/ImagineEars. And for as little as $2 a month, you can be given exclusive content that can't be found anywhere else. We do videos, special videos for our patrons. We do a live chat with our top tier patrons. We do monthly drawings for prizes. And then we are doing a test tonight with our Patreon people. So, guys, right after this, so at 9 o'clock, we will get on that Zoom link. We are going to, starting next month, again, tonight is kind of the trial. Once a month, we are going to do a trivia night. And there will be a prize for first place. So we'll get you a gift card, probably, to somewhere. So, yeah, we're ironing out the details, but there is prizes to be won. So if you want to take part in that, come join our Patreon. And again, it's patreon.com/ImagineEars. So thank you, all of you. Thank you for our Patreon supporters. Thank you to our podcast supporters. We love you guys. We are looking forward to coming at you with another episode next week. But until then, friends, remember, if you can dream it, you can do it.
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting.